In slide 2, you can see that the financial analysis shows you that in 2022, SNHU's revenues climbed almost 19%, and then only 6% that following year in 2023. An issue with that is that their expenses also grew 23%, and in the next year it was 8%, which means that there is a little bit of erosion there because as the school's continuing to grow, they're bringing in more money, but they're also spending more, which is a lot is going to salaries, which went up 15% in 2022 as well as another 15% in 2023. They're getting more grant money between 2022 and 23, about 33% more that year, but their operating surplus is going down. For the market attractiveness, there are high returns, but the margins are shrinking just because what they're spending on advertising as well as bringing in new students, and their salaries are going up, and just things are getting more expensive. And then just the growth in the industry is becoming more competitive, and it's harder to sustain those growths just because there's other companies and other colleges coming online. Some of the key forces, there are companies that are doing online startups. There's tech platforms that are also coming online, and there's other schools, there's other rivalries like WGU and ASU Online that are pushing their programs really heavily. And then just the customers have more power to compare online tuitions and what working with schedules and different things like that that other schools have to offer that SNHU might not have. And there are online substitutes. There's Google certificates and other things like that that make the competition high. But they're also employers are working with SNHU to have their students come to school through them and their workers, as well as there's federal aid for students and other things like that that are encouraging them to go to school. So, but overall, SNHU has a strong brand reputation and student support, and they've grown a lot, and they have a strong track record. But one of the issues is that, like I said, the salaries are rising, and the cost on the student is also growing up, increasing. For competitors, there's a large barrier of entry just because if they have an actual campus. But for online student or employers, there's not much because you can put together a program and launch it and have students attend online. Some of the competitive advantages for SHU is they have a strong brand, and their pricing is very affordable for people, and there's working with employers to get students back into school. Some of the problems are just the expenses, and the operating margins are declining from about 13% to about 8% at 2022 to 2023. And then in conclusion, SNHU can have a winning strategy if they just control their expenses, including their salaries particularly, and just mixing their programs to include more students and get more people interested, and then just growing their partnerships with employers.